Hello, CS112. Today I'll be going over a quick solution to Lab 6, which has to do with multi-dimensional list. So Dipper here is running late to lunch, and he needs to try and grab his hat from his one of these lockers here, but he doesn't remember which one his hat is in. So he has at most 3 attempts to open a locker, because that's all the time he has, or else he'll miss out on lunch. So you will be importing some stuff here in order to randomly generate a number within this multi-dimensional list here, but that is done for you with this code here, and I will be doing it shortly. But essentially what random does is when you call like random.choice on some indices, it will select a random number from indices, so on and so forth, to hopefully find his hat, since he is selecting at random. So I think the best way is to just dive right into this. So we're supposed to, here's a example output. So we're supposed to display, press any key to enter 3 times. Well, he has 3 attempts, so 3 times. But if, like, let's say the first or second attempt, he actually found the hat, then we would immediately break. We wouldn't continue iterating a 3rd attempt, so he would stop as soon as he found his hat. And if we reach that 3rd attempt, and we still haven't found the hat, then we will display hat not found. Please try again later. So I personally am going to be doing this inside of a while loop to, do it exactly 3 times and break once one of these conditions is met. So I'm just going to dive right into that. So I'm just going to say loop through user inputs, and then I'm going to say create a counting variable, because I'm going to use a while loop. So I'm going to say like counts equals, we'll start at 0, so while counts is less than 3, because we want to iterate 3 times, I'm going to ask the user input, which we can just call attempts, because why not, equals inputs, and they said press any key to open a locker. And then after the key is pressed, that is when we want to randomize the code here. So I'm just going to copy and paste that right there. So here we are going to get a random x and y coordinates in this multi-dimensional list. I have sort of created it up here with emojis, but if we look at it over here, we can pretend that each of these rows is going to be a sublist within a bigger list, as I have up here, where the first 3 items, the book, the spider, the apple, is its own sublist, and then so on and so forth. So now that we've gotten the randomness of the indices, we're going to want to display what is there. We see here that it's displayed in the prompt the attempts number, as well as the coordinates that were picked and what was found in said coordinates. So this is going to be a pretty complex print statement, but I'm sure by now you guys were able to tackle this pretty easily. But I'm just going to say attempt, and I'm going to do a comma there. And then since I'm having a counts variable here that's counting the loop, I'm just going to use that in here as well to keep track of where we're at. I'm going to wrap that in a string, so counts plus 1, because attempts will be count plus 1. And I'm wrapping it in a string so I can place it right next to this colon here through concatenation. So now I'm going to have a colon here. I just put a comma there because we do want a space between the attempts. Actually, let me, I can do this right here. So boom, boom, or there is no space between the L. And then here we are actually going to want to use a plus, because it looks like the numbers here are directly within. And this is where we're going to put the X and the Y. So I'm going to say plus strx, and then I'm going to have another plus to close the bracket. So we're going to have that closing brackets, and then we're going to have another opening bracket for the Y coordinate, where I'm going to say plus stry. And then I'm going to close that bad boy up with a closing bracket, like such. And then what comes after that? The actual item itself. So now this is where we're going to, it looks like there's a space there, so I'm just going to put a nice simple comma there. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Now, in order to print out what is at this thing, we just need to use these x and y coordinates on locker. I previously defined locker as a 2-dimensional list up here, so I can call it. So I'm just going to say locker x, y, and that should display what we have at the very end. Hopefully this will not throw any errors, but I don't think it will. Let's see, what is next? So now there are two conditionals that I'm going to be keeping track of here. One is if we actually found the hat, and the other is if the hat's not found, please try again later after 3 attempts. So let's focus on if the hat is found. When will the hat be found? Well, the hat will be found if the coordinates are 0, 1, 2, 0, 1. So 2, 1 is when we will have found the hat, and if and only if then. So I'm going to say if, and put this in parentheses to be really safe. So say if x equals 2 and y is equal to 1, like I said before, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, yep. Then that is when we are going to print, what are we printing here? Hat found, it's over. And then immediately after that, within this if statement, I'm going to break. The second condition is once we have reached the end and we've attempted 3 attempts. So when have we attempted 3 attempts? Well, that is if count is equal to 2. We can simply print hat not found. Please try again later. Now, I know I technically could just get away with not having a break statement here because once it reaches this far, count will be incremented to 3. It will come back up here, and 3 is not less than 3. So I could just I could just end it like this, but just to be safe, I am going to have a break here because why not? And then of course I need to increment count, or else I will get an infinite loop. So let's just go ahead and test this bad boy out. I'm going to run that right there, press any key, I'm going to press enter. So attempt 1 was locker 1, 1. As you can see, it was locker 0, 1, 0, 1, which is the calculator, I think that is. We're going to try this again. And hey, look, we actually managed to get the hat on our second attempt. That is very lucky. Let's go ahead and try that again, because since this is, it's not really random, it's technically random. I thought that we would never actually be able to hit the hat. So we were able to test to see that we were actually able to find the hat. So that's actually very nice. So we're going to try this again. Try it again. Try it again. See, this time we did not run into it. We were able to get 1, 1, which again is the calculator. We were able to get 1, 0, which is a mouse. And lastly, we got 2, 2, which is a key. So yeah, this was a good experience to finally have some importing stuff. Random's always a fun one to use. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know.